not everyone's fund has your name on it. It's not for you. I don't believe in going into your savings account unless it's an emergency, as in somebody is near death. Okay, but to dip into your savings to just fund someone else's lifestyle, that's going to be an absolute heck no for me. What is going on, mi familia, mi gente, my village people, and everyone in between? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Beverly Adeze. If you don't know, I am a content creator on Instagram, TikTok, and now inside the YouTube. So it is well. I'm praying. Oh, this is my first time holding the microphone because I feel like it will look kind of weird. And I just wanted to see what it would feel like. So today we are doing another reaction video, and I'm going to give my commentary because I was on TikTok and I saw this video of content creator Elsa Majimbo. When I first ran across Elsa, she was doing the whole chip thing, this African girl from Kenya, and it was really cool. So now her content has kind of changed, and so she made a video. Also, guys, if I tell you that I know what's going on my head, on top of my head, know that I'm lying because I don't even know. In fact, it's really because tomorrow is my wash day and I'm just trying to hold on. So this wig is just going to have to do. And it's giving artiste. It's giving I'm a painter or something. So we're going to watch this video with Elsa and I'll come back and give my commentary.
Sending money back home or to your extended family is such a common African practice that I absolutely hate. I saw my dad doing it, and I don't even know any of my extended family. I saw him doing it with his brothers, with his sisters, with his grandparents, parents, like everyone in the family. As long as you have a job, they expect you to share that money accordingly. And that is just something I will not be participating in. I already knew I would never participate in this. Like, how do you come and tell me, oh, my kids are starving? Yeah, they're starving because you're lazy. Get off your get a job and feed your kids. And also there's this one like extended family member of ours, and she used to ask my dad for money, and she texted me and she asks me for money. You've been asking my dad for money since before I was born. I was raised, I grew up. Now you're asking me for money. You lazy son of a I'm not fitting your habits. I'm not fit. Clearly, you're too lazy to be alive. I will let you starve.
So I agree to a certain extent. And I'll tell you why I disagree in a few, but she has a point. She has a point because it's something that our parents have practiced since they moved abroad. I believe that our parents have what I call survivor's guilt because they're the ones in the States, and God forbid you are the firstborn and you have siblings that are just back there. My dear, it's like you are the cash cow. I really feel like funding people back home is going to end with us. And that doesn't mean that we can't give, but I believe the way that they expected our parents to really fund their lifestyle, it ends with us. Me personally, I don't have survivor's guilt, right? But I am also a human being. So I am not like, I don't believe in living life with the closed fist to where it's like you don't want to give anything, you just stingy. I don't believe in that. But I believe that we are using wisdom because we've seen what this has done to our parents. I am telling you, I have heard of families, I've heard of families that will be sending money back home all the time, having people on payroll. Now, it's different if these are family members that are actively working for you, and maybe every now and then, every once in a while, if you want to just gift them, yes. But to be sending money monthly to people and they feel like they're obligated to you and they feel like it's your obligation to send them money just because you're abroad, I'm not with that at all. Now, the part where I disagree is where she's like, okay, you're too lazy to survive, get off your... Yes, there are some lazy people, don't get me wrong. However, we cannot compare the two economies. Like, I can only speak for Nigeria, and I'm sure people that are living in Mexico, Honduras, Philippines, or whatever, I've heard that they have similar stories. But I'll say for Nigeria, especially now, the economy is just not... The government is just corrupt, it's out of whack. Right? So people they're struggling. They really are. Not everybody, because there are some people that are doing really well in Nigeria. But I mean, you have a lot of people who are trying to, what they call jakba, they're trying to come over abroad because they're just tired of the way Nigeria is being ran. It's not even, Nigeria in and of itself is filled and rich with resources, but the government is just horrible. So you can't compare the two. However, if you're going to talk about that, you also have to talk about the fact that yes, our dollar, and if you're earning in pounds, it stretches farther. It does. But the expenses here is like we kind of need that, right? Because now you can barely find an apartment. Now, 1 bedroom is like $1,450. In fact, apartments that used to be like maybe $800, $600, now they are $1,400, $1,800, and that's like a basic decent apartment if you don't want to be fighting cockroach and all that. And that's in Texas. I have seen some apartments in California that are like $3,000 for a studio. That is crazy. I said it can never be $3,000 a month. Do you know that someone's monthly rent here is the equivalent of someone's yearly rent in Nigeria? And that's for an apartment. And so yes, their economy is probably a little bit worse because there are less opportunities, less jobs, right? We have more jobs, more opportunities, but then our cost of living is also higher. That's why when people go back home in December, you live like a king, you live like a queen. And the thing is, like, parents and relatives will be over here abroad making decent money, or, maybe they're moving up, because a lot of times they start off as like, let's say fry cooks or anything like that, working basic job. They move up, they get an education, and they'll be sending money home, building houses back home, and their washing machine is not working, or they don't even have college funds for their children. They don't save up for their children. And I'm just like, wow, how are we thinking? Like, financially, we need to get to a place where we are better with money, because that is absolutely ridiculous. And the people back home, in their mind, they feel like it's not even possible for us here or for we here to be stressing. They feel like it's only them. Not everybody, but they feel like, because they kind of, sometimes they have a woe is me mentality, right? But then please, there's stress here as well. And they'll be watching the people over here stressing and all that, and they don't care, because in their mind, well, you make more, so send us money. And yeah. Now, as for me personally, I can never say, I'm never going to send money back home. No, I'm not going to say that. And I've sent money back home, right? However, the difference between me and my parents, or, the past generation living here, is I have boundaries, and I have no issue with saying no or saying, hey, I don't have it at the moment. And I feel like with our parents, they had survivor's guilt, and there was a part of them that didn't want to say that, we don't have it at this moment, because then they care too much about what people would think, and they didn't want people back home thinking that, so you're in America and you are telling me you don't have money to give me this month. Yeah, what are you doing in America? They were so afraid of what others would think, and so a lot of times they would borrow from Peter to pay Paul, as opposed to just saying, hey, at this moment I don't have, when I have, I'll be able to give it to you. Like, I have seen people stress themselves. They'll even be asking, please, can you send me this so I can send to my brother? What? I remember one of my aunties, I was telling her that, hey, this distant relative, and keep in mind that Elsa did mention a distant relative, people that you really aren't that close with, and maybe they saw you growing up, they know of your parents. A distant relative asked me for money. My first time meeting them in Nigeria was not this past time. My first time meeting them in Nigeria was in 2017, and they were cool. So they asked me for money once. Okay, I was okay, I can do this. And then again, and I just was not comfortable with it. So I was telling my auntie, I was like, hey, I'm not really comfortable with this. He's saying that he needs this for a business, and I don't mind if I'm sewing into a business, but then you have to, can you show me proof that it's going to go to a business, right? And so my auntie was like, you know what? You have to be diplomatic. And she says the way that they do it in Nigeria is, instead of just saying, I don't have, that's how we do it here in America, because we're more straightforward. Instead of saying, hey, I don't have at the moment, what they'll say is, when they ask you for money, you're supposed to be shocked. Like, for example, the way she explained it is, if someone is coming to ask me for, let's say, 500,000 naira, which is maybe about under $500, I should act shocked, like, 500,000. Hey, no, there is like this game, this back and forth. And then basically you're supposed to just play the game, and just, instead of just being straightforward and being like, hey, I'm not able to at the moment. And I was telling her, I was like, Auntie, please, I don't have time for all these games. I don't have time to be just roaming around. I'd rather just tell you what it is. And I'm okay with you feeling however you want to feel. I don't have time for the mental gymnastics and all that. If I have, I have. If I don't have, I don't have. And one thing I've also noticed is that here, if you tell someone like, hey, unfortunately, I'm saving up for something, so I'm not able to give at the moment. What she was telling me is that in Nigeria, how they will interpret it is that instead of just saying, she's saving up for something, let me respect her boundaries, they'll be like, so you even have, and you don't want to give, right? And it's just like, not everyone's fund, has your name on it. It's not for you. I don't believe in going into your savings account unless unless maybe you don't have it in checking for some reason and it's an emergency, as in somebody is near death. Okay, but to dip into your savings to just fund someone else's lifestyle, that's going to be an absolute heck no for me. Honestly, if my expenses for the month are just too much and it's just out of my budget, I'm just going to tell you straight up what it is. I don't have time to play these games. If you like, go and talk. Will I even hear? I don't. You just have to not care. Our parents, they care too much. All in all, you really have to have discernment because you're a human being. You're not an ATM, right? But also, as a human being, it is good to maybe sympathize. And I'm not saying give every time, right? But every once in a while, if you can, if you have a little extra, right? If God has blessed you with a little extra and He's putting on your heart to give, then there's nothing wrong with that. But you set that boundary. And one thing I've learned is I try to not give right away in terms of they say, oh, I need this money, and I send that money in the next 15 minutes. That means that it will look like I have it, just accessible like that. Please, sometimes I'll just say, give me about a week or so, and then I'll get it to you. And there are some people that have asked me for money, and they were genuine. The thing is, they don't really ask for much, so I know that okay, they're being honest and things like that. And again, if I don't have at the moment, I always try to remember them when I do have and send something. Really, what I think the best thing to do is to have maybe a budget, a giving budget, right? Whether it's something you want to choose to give back home, or if you want to give to a charity here as well, whatever your giving budget is, if you've allocated this amount of money to a charity and this is all you have left, if they say, hey, please, I need 500,000 naira, which is like almost $500, but all you have right now to give is $100, right? Then there's no problem with that. And to be honest, I don't believe it's wise to let anyone borrow money if you're not sure, financially what. It's better to just give. It's better to give. Unless it's someone that maybe is doing it for business that you can trust and but if it's just a relative, don't borrow anybody money. If they say, please borrow me 500,000 and all you have to give is 50,000, give them and say, this is all I have to give. Take, don't have to worry about paying me back. I've had someone say, please, just borrow me. Borrow you where? Me, that's United States. So I should now be running to Nigeria to now be chasing you up and down. No. What I can give is what I can give, I beg. And I would like to know, is this something that's common where you're from? Or are you fortunate enough to have family members who have never asked you for money? If so, I don't know, type it below in the comments because I'm going to be reading those comments. No human being wants a transactional relationship. We all want to know that the people who are with us, who we do life with, love us for who we are and they don't want anything from us, right? I have two relatives, right, that come in mind that they have never asked me for anything. And these are people that took care of me when I was little before I came over here. Still to this day, never ever asked me for anything. Now, it doesn't mean that if someone asks you for money that they're a bad person, but because I know that they love me genuinely and they take care of me every time. Since I was a child, they've been taking care of me. Every time I go back, they take care of me. Because of that, I know you don't want any. I know you love me for me. And so I'm even trying to plan, what can I do for you? How can I, gift you? Like, let's take a trip. Let's do this. How can I bless you? Because I know that you don't want anything from me. So it even makes me want to give more. Now, before I wrap up this video, there's another video that I saw that actually makes a lot of sense.
So the lady, they complain, say they asking Poppy for money to the point that she's old and grown enough, then still they beg them for money.
Everyone in the family, as long as you have a job, they expect you to share that money accordingly. And that is just something I will not be participating in. I already knew I would never participate in this. Like, how do you come and tell me, oh, my kids are starving? Yeah, they're starving because you're fucking lazy. Get off your ass, get a job, and feed your kids.
Your auntie sell in land, give you, make you go abroad. Your auntie get pickings for here, but sell the land, give him pickings to make them go. You be the one who you be any that's all. So then send carry give you. Don't you think say when you get there and you are remitting them, some of the money that you go send, you go get like you go trickle down to their
you go get. But I think say
what be the issue?
Get something for them to do. I can't be sending you money every month. You don't work for me.
Okay.
I'll get you something in Ghana to do. If you want it, I'll come to you. Do you want a business or what do you want to do? Then I set it up for you. Then you depend on that to feed you.
That is.
But for me to be sending you money every month, and see,
don't make it look like helping a family member who is in need. Now with the social media talking about what if the people that you are calling lazy and things, it's not like they are lazy. It's like they don't even have some of the jobs to do. You know what is happening here?
But begging people somebody for 20 years there. Now every time they give you.
Listen.
Surely I can, I don't know, apart from maybe the person be your mother who is old and cannot work. A youth helping the youth for 10 years, then the person is lazy.
I completely agree. Literally, his sentiments are my sentiments. I would rather fund or help you start up a business and give to that so that you can have something that's generating income as opposed to just be giving you money for 20 years. That is crazy. But if I know that someone has a genuine business idea and they've already shown that they're working towards something and you just need, some money to kind of close things up and get things running, I am more than happy to do so. But I have to see that you've already put in the work first. Not that you're just coming out, I want to do business. I want, okay, which steps have you taken? So I wholeheartedly believe in that. And, except for when it's your elderly grandmother or something and you're paying for, that's different. But when you are able-bodied, you're young, you're able to go and do work, you should not be relying on your relatives back home to be funding your lifestyle. Do what you can. All in all, give, but use discernment and discretion, and don't allow anyone to take you for idiots. Okay, you're a human being too, and you want to make sure that you are being financially savvy so that you can bless your own generation. Because I thought you finished giving these people money. Sometimes when people have died in that funeral of the person that was giving them money, funding their lifestyle, they will now come and be begging their children for money. Even when you get married on your wedding day, they'll come and be asking you for money. Does it make sense? My dear, please, let's all use wisdom. So definitely leave a comment below if you can relate to anything I just mentioned. If you have your own story of family members who have asked you for money or maybe gotten upset because you told them no, I want to hear all about it. If you like this video, be sure to click the like button. If you really like it and you want to keep up with me and my shenanigans, be sure to press subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.